We're going to go down Eddy Street right here. And this is the city part of Eddy Street. And this used to be what was known as sort of like Saginaw's Little Italy, I guess, at one time. I don't know if the people from here migrated from Potter Street area, but this is Eddy Street, and there were all kinds of Italians living in the area around here. And if you ever remember, if you guys are old enough to remember living in the like Mershon, Delaware Boulevard area in the early 60s, you would see produce carts pulled by horse and that going up and down the street. And a lot of the well, in New York they'd call them hucksters, but they were vendors that were selling produce and that. They were Italian, and they had, a lot of them had houses, because these are big lots over here, and they would have, they're crossing Weiss right here, they would have barns in the back, and they would keep their horses. As you can see from around here, this was completely, most of it was lost when they built 675 through here. And what I've heard is that unfortunately a lot of those guys, the Italian families that were vendors, got bought out, and they got asking blue book price for their homes, and they were never able to get property in like Saginaw Township or anything where they could have that kind of land to have their horses, so they pretty much were kind of forced out of business. But this is what's left of Eddy Street, which was kind of known as the Little Italy of Saginaw at one time. I'm going to go do the other parts that were Italian neighborhoods that were told to me, okay, to continue our tour of Saginaw's Italian neighborhoods. We're headed up to what my grandma said was like the original one. They used to come up here and play cards with Italians up in this area around Potter Street. But as I was told, Potter Street was the original. Just like a lot in the First War, it seems like a lot of places around here were, the First Ward was like Harlem in New York, where all the new people coming to Saginaw without a lot of money ended up settling. And you had, the Polish around St. Rita's, and you had the Italians on Potter Street and around here, and the other ethnic groups. But this one here, there was some of the bakeries and that in town and everything were around in the Potter Street area. That must have been 20s and 30s, I would say. And then I was told that a lot of the people moved out to Eddy Street. Alright, here's the last Italian neighborhood that was around in Saginaw. And this used to be a little settlement here. You had Tutera. There was a belt and a shoe repair. And there was an Italian bakery and different, like an Italian grocery store in this area. And the people that lived right around here, a lot of Italians lived in this neighborhood right here at 6th and Lapeer. And I think that's probably why my grandparents lived at 4th and Lapeer, because they could get to the stores and everything like that within this area. And there was they could, there was Italian goods and things, but this was the other little Italian area. So you had Potter Street, You had 6 in Lapeer, and you had Eddy Street later on.